Good day, everyone. It's a new day, it's a new learning. For today's class discussion, we are going to discuss the Module 5, which is the digital skills and tools in delivering technology enhanced lessons. Like any other class discussion, first I'm gonna read the learning outcomes for these lessons. So first is integrate media and technology in various contact areas. Second is describe technology tools that are used in group activities. Third is use technology tools to collaborative and share resources among communities of practice. And the last one is reflected on the use of technology and on its relevance and appropriateness. This time, allow me to present myself. I am Rahma A. Nawal from 2BSEE, and I am the presenter for today's video, and I am going to discuss the Module 5, which is the digital skills and tools in delivering technology enhanced lessons. As a future educator, we have to keep in mind that technology helps us in delivering our lessons. We also need to keep in our mind that the development of our technology today transformed the learning and teaching process into effective and efficient learning. For example, way back before when technology or like internet does not exist or not already discovered, we use traditional teaching method which focus on the teachers as the only source of information in the classroom, or we call that one as teacher-centered method, which involved face-to-face interactions between the educators and the learners. Then later on, we have what we call technological advancements, where everyone's or learners and educator is required to be digital literate individual in the 21st century, which involves the use of ICT tools in learning and teaching process. Deny that these ICT tools is very helpful for us now. For example, way back before, we have what we call traditional media, which involve the use of radio, newspaper, books, magazines, televisions, every time that we need to gather informations. Problem with this traditional media is that there's no feedback. Because wala siyang feedback, hindi natin alam kung tama ba yung ginagawa natin, tama ba yung process natin, hindi na-i-evaluate yung mga works natin. The message is relay on us. So, since traditional media siya, there's no feedback. However, because of the development of our technology today, we have internet, and we have internet now which we can post our announcement, and at the same time learners can provide feedback about it or provide suggestions about the instructions, something like that. So have this social media platform which really helps educator today to access learners, no? I mean, to provide learning experience more meaningful, no? Kasi they can relay message, and the same time the receiver can also of the information is pwede siyang magbigay ng feedback about doon sa binigay nung sender. So when it comes to researches, media or ICT, these ICT tools is very helpful for us. It somehow makes our task easier or efficient than what we used before. So with the use of these ICT tools, learners and educators can be digital literate individual in the 21st century, which is something na very essential in our world. So let's proceed on the definitions of the topic. So our topic for today is all about the use of ICT tools. So first, let us define what is ICT tools. So when you say ICT tools, It is a various digital tools, example software application that can be used for different purposes. For example, for educational purposes. Each ICT tool has its own purpose. Example, tools for editing image, digital drawing, and creating illustrations, developing mind map, and etc. Say ICT tools, these are the tools that we use that involves the use of internet. We employ technology. We apply technological advancement ba in doing or in um, in our task. Next is ICT tools in teaching and learning. What is the use of ICT tools in teaching and learning? The ICT tools help learning process to be efficient and effective. For example, way back before, pag gina-compute natin grade ng learners, we use calculator or mano-mano na process. But because of the development of our technology, we use computer na or sa pag-compute ng mga grade ng mga learners, which is very helpful because it saves time, no? Other one is we can learn things or we can discover things through the use of internet. Through the use of internet, so we can research something like that which is very helpful in our study. The next one is the role of ICT in education process. So in the role of ICT in education process, especially in our in parent, is that online platforms could provide parent access to learning materials and tasks. For example, we have the social media such as Facebook kung saan doon ginasend yung mga activities nila ng learners. Though that case, mas madaling mada-download or maa-access ng parents yung mga material and tasks which is needed na sagutan ng mga anak nila. It would help them to understand new learning approaches and support their children at home with their schoolwork. Sa learners naman, ICT education is helpful talaga. The role of ICT education is that teaches learners how to be digital literate individual in the 21st century. Teach them how to access right informations so that or let's say reliable information so that they can avoid fake news, something like that. The thing, the role of ICT education is that it helps learner to learn in their own way without relying on their parents or their teacher. What is the best ICT tools in the classroom today? Number one, we have the content free. This type of software challenge children intellectuality. Okay, the next one is children in control of technology. The ICT becomes a tool for learning in a variety of different ways and demand. But also we have to, as a parents, no, we have to also to keep in mind that time exposure or screen time can cause health problem. So we should always put a limitation then even though we want them to be digital literate individuals in the 21st century. Next one, develop student ICT capability and ICT literacy. This is amplified when you support and scaffold ICT learning in key learning areas. Next, we have the ICT tools for enhancing creativity. Only replacing traditional tools with ICT does not lead to creativity and innovation. It implies that although in our setting, which is despite of technological advancement, traditional media or traditional tools is something na which is essential pa rin sa atin sa between learners or educators. For example, during the pandemic, because not everyone has an access to internet, therefore educators or teachers uses different approach for to deliver their lessons, such as modular learning or yung broadcasting. They use broadcasting to deliver their lessons, because we as an educator, we have to understand that not everyone has an access in internet, because not everyone can afford to buy gadgets which they will use in learning. Therefore, they come into conclusion that they have to make an innovative way where they can still provide quality access to educations despite the pandemic, where not everyone has an access to internet. In totality, we could not replace traditional tools despite the technological advancements that we had today. Only combining them could result in more space for both sides of education processes. So, in order for the learning process and the teaching process to be efficient and effective, we have to combine the traditional tools or the traditional media and the new media or the technological advancements. In fact, the Edgar Dale Cone of Experiences emphasize that the use of these ICT tools or technological advancements helps the learning process, help the learning and teaching process to be more meaningful. So that's it, no? How to use ICT tools in the classroom. So as an educator, we have to teach learners on how they will utilize these ICT tools in the classroom. So the first is that establish a starting point in student ICT learning and embed formatted assessment in a primary school in key learning areas such as literacy and numeracy. When you say literacy, it is how to read, and numeracy is from numeracy, it's all about number. Number 2, plan for progressions in ICT learning and progression in the learning continuum of the Australian curriculum. Okay. Number 3 is employ evidence-based ICT teaching and strategies that support ICT learning alongside subject learning. So we have to use different strategies for them to utilize for them to know on how to utilize these ICT tools. The next slide is how does ICT enhance teaching and learning? So we have intellectually challenging technologies to use in the classroom. So as a future educator, no, we have to keep in mind that not all learners is technologically literate. Maybe some of them is not totally technological literate. Okay, so number 1 is and lifelong, the possibilities for Wikis are wide open. Word and processing has close links to literacy and language development. Being proficient in word processing skills is something which students will continually build on throughout their school career. We have Wikis. What I know is this can be a repository of knowledge for students. Okay, next we have email. So we use this email when we are sending something, our resume, our assignments, we use email. So email great for developing online literacy skills. We all write different online and for different audiences too. Next, we have the web creation and design. These are really online word processor, and so the possibilities in literacy lessons are endless but can limit the teachers on capabilities in ICT. Next, we have the web searching. Web searching or the ability to find information is a vital to have the 21st century. So when we are searching for something, when we want to know, when we are searching in a search engine, no, we also need to consider our sentences or our sentence. It should be written in correct grammar, no? Because if you search a sentence which is incorrect, the result is also incorrect, or it's something that is not accurate. Okay. What strategies are available to navigate electronic text and the internet, and where are the signposts and clues? We have the drawing and graphic programs. this drawing and graphic program is very important to doon sa mga students na architecture or something like that. Okay, visual literacy is equally important today than ever before. Imagine demonstrating to your student how to use one of these drawing or graphics programs so that they can use it creatively in order to add an image to a newspaper article. To understand how picture can sometimes tell 1,000 words just by the color, expressions, or medium used. Therefore, using this drawing or graphic program, we could say that the learners could retain what they learn, because when lots of senses involved during the learner process, the more chances na ma-retain ng learners yung mga tinuro mo or what you have teach to them. Next, we have the digital video. Harness the power of video to help students develop their language skills. The last part of our lesson for today, we have the issues and discussions. Digital culture and digital literacy, computer technologies, and other aspects of digital culture have changed the way people live, work, and learn. Like what I've said before, because of these technological advancements, it helps people na mapadali yung mga tasks nila, the tasks become easier, or our life become easier than before, no? Because for example, we can easily access information through internet now because of this. But also, we also have to keep in our mind that not all informations found in internet are reliable. So sometimes we have to analyze first, or sure that the source is reliable, to avoid disinformations or fake news. Okay. Impacting the construction and distribution of knowledge and power around the world. So, being a digital literate individual is something that you can use talaga. It's an advantage for you, no? Okay. Next is graduates who are less familiar with digital culture, increasingly a disadvantage in a national and global economy. Okay, since when the country is technologically advanced, it means that the economy of that country is in good or stable condition. So, graduates na we could say na not really familiar in the use of these ICT tools, is parang it becomes disadvantage for them, because firms are looking for employee that technological literate, because everything that we do today sometimes involves technology. Digital literacy, the skills of searching for discerning and production information, as well as the critical use of new media for full participation in society, has thus become an important consideration for curriculum and framework. So that is the reason on why in our curriculum there are some subjects na tinuturuan tayo on how to be a digital literate individual in the 21st century. Because if we are literate or technological literate individual, it becomes our advantage pag we are applying for a job na. It's an advantage for us if you are good in using or utilizing these ICT tools. So we could conclude that it is really important, no? It's something that is essential for us. In conclusion, as experiential, students need a level of competency, which is less to do with functional skills, as they use ICT naturally and without fear of failure. Building a culture of open innovation requires rewarded teamwork and organizational changes that foster internal and external collaborations. Global innovation networks are forming, and it is key role of education to educate people able to collaborate and share their ideas with others without the fear of failure. When you say fear of failure, is that um, you say without fear of failure, it implies that you are not afraid to commit mistakes. Like sabi nga nila, failure is part of success. That is the end of our class discussion. I hope you learned a lot from our class discussion because the topic is something that is essential to each of us. So I'm giving you an assessment. Okay, my question is that how does ICT tools enhance learning and teaching? So you are going to submit this assignment next week. So I hope you learned a lot talaga, guys. And God bless us all. And thank you for listening. Okay. So these are my references, which I gathered informations that I've used in my presentation. So I would like to thank the Slides Carnival for the beautiful templates of my presentations. I was really amazed sa creativity. It's something that very motivating to present this because the design is something good. Somehow we could say very good.